Coach Darnay here. I'm coming to you briefly to talk about self-love. Yeah, self-love. So today's topic is self-love because a lot of people that I find really don't love themselves. They might love someone else, but they don't love themselves. And what do I mean by loving yourself? That has to do with self-awareness and self-acceptance coupled together. So when you are aware of who you are as a person and aware of what you are, what you can do, what you cannot do, your limitations, and the things that you are capable of, your capabilities, your gifts, your abilities, those things all together, they come together and create self-love. People say, well, when you value yourself, you'll value. Well, when you love somebody, when you value yourself enough to love yourself, then you're able to fully love someone else. Very true. What does self-value mean? Self-value means that you understand that you are a priceless individual. That there is nothing that is more special and more important in this world than you. That you have a reason for being here and that your life is important. You matter. And that you matter just as much as everybody else matters. Your individual uniqueness is an asset to the world at large. And so I know that those are like huge statements, like you matter to the world, you matter, blah, blah, blah. But the truth is, you really do matter. Your uniqueness really is a gift like no other gift in the universe. And as long as you continue to, until you continuously accept yourself, And by continuously, I mean forever and ever. Like on all the things that you do that shock you, accept yourself in those spaces. I had to accept myself in spaces in the last 6 months that I was like, ooh, is that true? Is that true of me? I actually had to look one thing up in the dictionary because I wasn't sure if that was really what was going on. And when I found out that it was really going on, I was like, oh, is that real for me? Is that true for me? And then when I found out that it truly was true for me, then I had to pull it apart and find out the reason why it was going on. And once I did that, then I was able to say, oh yeah, well that makes sense. Well, yeah. And so because now I know what's going on, now I can fix it, or now I can change my reaction, or at least accept that that's how I'm going to be in that situation. And once I accepted that, changed what I could, allowed what I needed to allow to change me, and then accepted the rest as this is just what it is, then I was able to move on past it. And that doesn't come up for me anymore. So self-awareness and self-acceptance. Self-awareness was me able to say, okay, something's not right here. What's really going on? And self-acceptance was me, after analyzing what was really going on, asking myself the hard questions. Then I was able to then go from there into, well, you know what? This is what this is going to help teach you. This is what this is not good for. So we're not going to do that. And then here is the rest. And the rest is just what it is. You're going to be this way when you're in those situations until you change. Unless you don't change, it's going to be that way. So, figure out how to get beyond it and go from there. And truth, once I accepted it, once I moved on from it, I was fine. It didn't stop my self-love. So now, how did I get to the place of self-love? You ask. I'm glad you asked. So, I got to the place of self-love by looking in the mirror. And looking in the mirror unclothed. Because the first thing that I had to do was accept my dark brown skin. So I needed to see it, all of it, in order to accept it. The second thing that I needed to do was accept all the places on my physical body that weren't exactly what I wanted them to be. So you know how you always have this thing about I want bigger this or smaller that. I want more of this or less of that. I want this pushed up, that pulled down. I want this longer, this shorter. I want these, this way and this that way and all of this other stuff. I mean, if we could go back and remake ourselves, everybody would look like Barbie. Every woman would look like Barbie or Mona Lisa in terms of her body structure, and every man would look like Adonis. I mean, that's just how it would be, right? But that's not reality. Reality is you have the body that you have right now, according to the souls that you see, the seeds that you've sown to get it. Doesn't change. So, if you haven't been eating right, or you haven't been exercising, that's why you look like that. If you have been eating and you have been exercising and things aren't changing, then you need to still accept yourself like that until things change. Or go to a medical doctor and find out why things aren't changing. I mean, because sometimes are medical reasons. But the whole idea behind it is to truly stop pulling yourself apart. Stop choosing the spots of you that you like, and love the whole of you, because you live in your whole body every single day. You don't get to choose what part stays at home while you go hang out. It doesn't happen that way. So really and truly loving yourself is accepting your whole self on the outside and on the inside. So when I went to do the inside work, I had to start looking at all the things that I didn't like about myself. Oh, I don't like that I'm whiny. I don't like that I'm, more dependent. I don't like that I'm this. I don't like that I'm that. Oh, but I like this part. Oh, I like that part. Oh, I love this part. Oh, this part is really cool. Instead of just accepting the cool parts that I love, that I thought were really great, I had to look at the other parts that I didn't like so much and really accept them. And by accept them, I mean truly embrace that they are a part of me, and then from there find support so that they didn't continuously hinder my growth. Yes. So self-acceptance and self-awareness are keys to self-love. And without the self-awareness and without the self-acceptance, you can't ask the questions that you need to ask in order to be able to find out the deep answers that you need in order to get to the place where you actually accept yourself in that space. That doesn't mean that you're not going to grow beyond that place, but that means that you are there in this time and you're not getting out of there and unless you go to the next phase. So accept yourself. Accept that you're 50 pounds overweight, and then do what you need to do from here to the next phase to get the 50 pounds off. Accept that you can't read well, and do what you need to do to start reading well. Take a class or start reading more, or get the dictionary out with a book and go together and read them together so that way you'll get an understanding. But accept yourself right here, because you are right here. You're not there. You're not back where you were, and you're not where you're going. You are right here in today, in this present state. And that means your body is what it is. That means your mind is what it is. That means your emotions are what they are. Accept it all. And that is the key to loving yourself. So, work on loving yourselves, peeps, because we only have one us. It's not like we can go get another us out of the closet because we're displeased with the one that we have. And it makes life a lot better, too, when you're not always picking at yourself. When you're not always allowing the chatter from other people picking at you to cause you to pick at yourself. Because that happens, too. Life in 4G is living in God, living a life of giving, and living a life of gratitude, and living unapologetically in your greatness. Accept yourself. Be aware of yourself. and love yourself right here, right now.